Hi everyone, today I wanted to show you my absolutely beautiful Bubble Trouble BFF, which I have got packed up ready for my newborn when he arrives. I've had two other children, so I'm not doing this entirely blind. I've got a fairly good idea of the kind of things I'm going to need for my newborn. And I've got this packed with a mixture of set pieces and some Travelon cubes, and I thought I'd show you some of the options when packing it. So if we start with the outside, on the front you have this really nice mummy pocket. It's actually a little bit smaller than some of the others, except for maybe the Hobo Bee, but I can still get everything I need in it. It doesn't sit down very low, so you do need to pull it forward. So you have a key fob with keys, obviously. I can then get in the middle my wallet, which is quite a long one from Pink Lining. And then I keep nothing in this pouch here at the moment, but I do keep my Queen Bee small set piece in here. And in here I just have a range of things that I always like to have with me and which I move from bag to bag. So a lip gloss, a perfume, a hairbrush, some panty liners, some blotting papers, plasters, a contact lens, some hair ties, things like that, which I might need. Next to that you have the sunglasses holder, and in there I just keep a packet of tissues for me. And in the zip pocket behind I keep my pill case. I get quite a lot of headaches, so I always travel with some sort of painkillers, and I always keep them in a zip pocket in my GGB bags just to make it slightly harder for my children to get to them. So that's what I have in the mummy pocket. Up here is your tech pouch with this lovely soft lining. In here I keep my phone. Mine's just an iPhone 4, so it's really small, but you could get a much bigger phone in. I always keep my lip gloss up there because it's just a little bit more accessible, and some sort of mints. On either side you have the GGB bottle pockets, which are elasticated and slightly insulated. On this side, on all of my bags, I keep some sort of hand wash and some sort of hand cream. So as this is going to be for my newborn and I'm anticipating having to do lots of nappy changes and things like that, I've got a Milton one, which is a really decent antibacterial one. On the back I've got this set up, by the way, as a backpack because I often use a sling. On the back you have your packet for your pocket rather, for your changing pad. So that's what I've got in there, and again, because it's for my newborn, I do anticipate needing that. On this side, I often, if you've seen my other videos, would have a spare bag in here, but as I am planning to breastfeed, I'm going to leave this free for a bottle of water, so that I can make sure I stay nice and hydrated. On the side, I've got a Space Place Passy Pod. And in here will maybe be a passy or dummy if we need one. But for now, what is in here are my homemade small size nose nuzzles. So if you've ever seen any American packing videos, the mums often have these things called boogie wipes. In the UK, you can buy these things called nose nuzzles, which are made by Jackson Reese. They are really, really good and they work really well. They're lovely and soft for children, but they are massive. They're far too big for a small nose, in my opinion. So I take them out and I cut them in to 4. Yep, I cut them into 4, but these are folded in half. These are 8, so I was trying to work out why they look so small then. So these are 4s, but folded in half. And then I just put them in a Ziploc so they don't dry out and keep them in my passy pod. So let's take that off. Okay, so if we have a look at the main bit of the bag, I have this packed more or less how I would have it for a normal trip out, but then I have some extra pieces on the side that I can show you for if I was going for a longer trip out with my newborn. The first thing I have is actually something for me to keep me occupied, because if you've gone out for a nice long walk, sometimes the baby falls asleep and you actually get a bit of free time. So I put 2 things in here. So I put one paperback in, so you can get a paperback book in the front. And I also put in here my large set piece, which has my sort of small travel project knitting kit in it. You never know. I might be being overly hopeful, but just in case. In the 2 pockets on the front, I have 1 packet of wet ones. I really like these for wiping things down, especially if I'm using like a hard surface to put a changing pad on. But actually, I was just out shopping and I discovered these as the Little Angels ones, which are high chair wipes. But they do say on the back that they're really for sort of changing mats, hard surfaces, nurseries, basically anything that the baby's not going to put in their mouth. So I think when my wet ones run out, I might swap to these. They're much better value. Obviously, they won't fit in that small pocket anymore, but I might do. Well, you're going to see I'm not averse to taking wipes out of packets and zip-locking them, just so I'm not having to carry around huge packs. So I might do that with them. On this side, I have my Hello Kitty on the Sea coin purse, and this is just a tiny first aid kit for a baby. So there's not much in it for now. I've just got some sterile saline drops, which I actually buy in France, where they use them if the baby's got a cold or anything, but actually they can also be used if you put them onto cotton wool for cleaning. I have a little paediatric cream just in case there's any dry skin or anything and I just want to put a tiny dab on. And just some of these in case I need them to do a little clean up. I tried it out, and actually in this coin purse, even with these other things in here, I could get a couple of sachets of Calpol and a little tube of Bonjela or some other teething gel. So a bit later on I'll be able to just add to this and still have my baby first aid kit. Okay, so behind that you can see my Quick in Bubble Trouble. Now we normally cloth nappy, so in here this is all packed for cloth nappying. So I have 1 extra small Ricky wrap, I have 2 fleece liners, I have a packet which I did put some in, although they're not wet at the moment, but just so you got an idea of the depth. This is where I would put my washable wipes. I have 2 extra small Mothery Sandy's nappies. For really small babies, I love 2-part nappies, so one of these with a wrap, sorry. I just think they're much better for containment at that early stage. And then I have rolled up a really good sized wet bag. So that all fits into one Quick. There's a little bit more space in there, but I don't really see the need to cram it any further full than that. On the bottom then, underneath that Quick, I just have 1 cardigan. I can probably swap this out for a smaller one when the baby's born, but I put this one in for size. It's a decent sort of 3-month size one. And I have an Aiden and Ace muslin blanket. This is a swaddle blanket, so again another really big one. On the sides then, if I start over here, this is where I just keep a normal muslin square, and I also have a CJ Butter spritz. These are really lovely on sore bottoms, and they're really natural. They also smell absolutely delicious. This one's mango, sugar and mint, and it's lovely. But they can also be used with cloth nappies, which a lot of things can't. So CJ's Butter spritz in that pocket. Back here is where I do have a whole packet of wipes, and these are just some hand and face wipes. Behind that, in this zip pocket, I actually have, see, put out into a little pocket, some Milton wipes. Again, I don't need to carry a whole packet of those, but just for emergencies, Milton wipes can be used on things which will go into mouths. So, for example, on dummies, on teething toys and things like that. I hardly ever have needed them, but just in case, I do like to have a couple. On this side then, this is my medium set piece in Kaiju City, which is a new print and is absolutely gorgeous. In here I have a full change of clothes for the baby. So I have 1 baby grow, just move that back a bit, 1 baby grow, 1 vest, 1 bib. Oh, this is a vest extender which you can use with cloth nappies. So when they get a little bit bigger, sometimes the vests won't popper up over a cloth nappy because the cloth nappies are bulkier. So you can buy these vest extenders to popper in, and a pair of socks, and that's all in 0 to 3 months. In the back here, I have a small Travelon packing cube, just with a couple of baby toys in it. You can see there's a bit more room. I could have got some rings and a few other bits and pieces in there if I'd wanted to. Behind that, in this zip pocket, I just have some disposable breast pads. And down here, there's a final zip pocket. And in here, I just have, for emergencies, 2 disposable nappies. These are the Natty Baby Eco nappies. And I also have just a few nappy bags, partly for the disposable nappies, but actually because if there's anything being made a bit messy, I find nappy bags are really useful to put that stuff in. So that's what I've got for a trip out with a newborn. I just thought I'd show you, if I can, very quickly, what I would do if I was going on a slightly longer trip out. So I'm not going to put everything back in because some of it doesn't need to go back in to show you this, but I will try and get a minimum back in place. So if I put the, oh, here we go, if I put the medium in, the stuff in these back pockets was very thin, so that won't make any difference. Put the wipes back. And the muslin with the spritz and the toys. And here we go, if I could put the blanket in the bottom and a cardigan. See, it's sort of coming together more or less as it was. And then if I can get the quick more or less loaded back up. Certainly as thick as it was. Oh, strap dangling out, that'll be okay. Okay, so the only other things I really had in there were the things on the front pockets, which I'll deal with in a minute. And then there was the stuff for me, so a book and my knitting bag. If I was going out for a much longer trip with the baby though, I would want more nappies because the 2, although I had 2 cloth and 2 disposable, I tried to avoid the disposable ones. So I would want more cloth nappies. So in my Kaiju City large set piece, I'm just going to show you this print again because it is so lovely. There we go. I have got 2 more cloth nappies, 1 more wrap, and 2 more liners. And they fit really nicely. Actually, there is quite a bit more room in there. I could probably get another nappy in there. And I can put that in on the top, up here. I've got a medium Travelon packing cube with another baby grow, another vest, and another pair of socks. And I didn't put it in, but there's room in there for another bib if I wanted one. And that will fit in. Actually, that will fit in that way nicely. There's not room for my knitting bag anymore, but I could still get a book in if I wanted to. And I also, just in here to give you an example, packed an extra rattle. And I could put a few more toys in there into my small Kaiju set as an extra toy pouch. When the baby's a bit bigger and is weaning, then I'll need these pieces for sort of weaning kit and stuff. But while they're a newborn, I can be sort of just putting little rattles and bits and pieces in them. And if you see, it takes slightly more doing to get it up, but this will close with all those extra pieces of clothing and nappies and everything else. It's because they're all soft as well, so they can be nicely squished down. And if you just wanted to check, I can still get everything that I had on the outside. So, whoops. Actually, I should have put this on in first, just because it won't slide very easily, but it will go in. My bad. Okay, so the one thing that is missing from here, which some people pack for a newborn, is a sling. I use my sling quite a lot, so I would either be wearing it, or if I have it in my pram, I tend to pack it into a fuel cell and then strap it to the pram somehow, just in case I need it. But that's it. So that's everything I pack for my newborn. If you've got any questions, please post them below, and I hope that's been helpful for some of you. Thanks very much for watching. Bye.